Welcome to A Leader's Journey, the podcast for leaders who deeply believe there is a better way to lead and desire to create their unique journey towards becoming a legacy leader. I'm your host, Shannon Hammond. Over the last 20 years as a corporate leader and leadership performance coach, I've learned that many leaders believe there is a predefined path they have to follow and struggle leaning into their unique gifts that will create lasting impact and fulfillment. They end up feeling stuck, unhappy, and unfulfilled in the day-to-day of their role, and are challenged with why, since they have experienced success in their career and in life. I'm here to help leaders think through their leadership journey, learn how to ask themselves better questions, and learn the formula to create their leadership journey by design. If you are ready to design your unique leadership journey, lead with confidence, and love the teams you lead, then you are in the right place. Let's do this. Hello, friends. I'm glad to have you here with me this week on A Leader's Journey podcast. Today, I want to talk about the topic of embracing you and leading with all of your quirks and the things that make you unique as an individual and as a leader. I want to start it off with a question. And that question for you is, are you driving your leadership based on your own authenticity? Or is it based on antagonism against another person where you're trying to prove them wrong? I want you to take a few moments to really think about that question and let that sit with you as we go throughout today's episode. And I want you to come back to that at the end and really kind of check in with what is driving your leadership. All too often, leaders try to fit into the corporate boxes that they believe their organization wants them to be in. And in many cases, organizations do have a certain set of criteria, guidelines, characteristics, etc., that they look for in leaders. A lot of times too, when you look at the leadership team within an organization, there is a certain look and a feel to them. It's almost as if they were all cut from the same piece of fabric or cloned. On one hand, this is great because organizations should have certain standards, behaviors, ethics, and levels of performance all leaders must meet, and that individual contributors must meet in order to be a part of the leadership team. Each leader also needs to, though, embrace who they are, even all of their quirks and the things that make them unique as an individual. Successful organizations do not try to clone their leaders and try to make them all the same. They don't want them to be all the same cookie cutter type leader. They want them to be uniquely themselves. There are different types of employees, which means that every organization needs different leaders and leadership styles. This allows employees to relate to the leadership team because they'll be able to relate to someone on that team who they see themselves in. It also creates growth within the organization because people won't eliminate themselves from pursuing a leadership role because they feel they won't fit in or that the organization wouldn't promote someone like them. They know that their quirks and their uniqueness will be accepted and appreciated on the team. When you embrace your uniqueness, you are also leading the way and setting the example for your team members and your peers to embrace who they are authentically. Being true to who you are is how you lead authentically and lets others get to know you. Being you is more fun and it creates more fun at work. You get to share with your team and others adventures that you've taken, maybe favorite TV shows or whatever TV show you may be currently watching, a new recipe that you tried, maybe sharing different activities that your family does together. Leadership is all built on relationships, and having meaningful relationships with your team goes a long way, and being able to connect with them on that personal level and for them getting to see who you truly are as their leader is a great way to build that meaningful relationship. When you have that meaningful relationship with your team and you guys have been able to build that connection and build that level of trust, you'll be able to challenge your team You'll be able to connect with them on a different level, and you'll be able to have great conversations because both of you will be showing up as yourself in those interactions and not trying to put on a show or be somebody that you just truly aren't. Plus, it's easier just to be you. Trying to be someone or something you are not, that takes a lot of work and a lot of energy. You're trying to remember what you shared with who, how you need to show up in different situations, and that takes up a lot of mental capacity and takes away from the things that you truly need to remember, not trying to remember the stories that you told and who did you tell them to. At some point, you will get caught up in your stories that you told, and that is going to damage the trust that you may have earned with your team or with your peers or others inside the organization. Leaders also don't need any more work than they already have. Being a leader isn't easy. It's hard. It takes time, it takes effort. There's a lot of moving pieces and parts to being a leader. So you have more than enough work that is going to occupy your time and your thoughts. You don't need to create more work that isn't going to serve you or anyone else by trying to put on a show or trying to be somebody that you're not and trying to remember all the different things that you've shared with everybody. Being who you are brings your energy into the environment that you are in. And Dr. Wayne Dyer mentions the following points about your presence in his book, The Power of Intention. And if you haven't read that book, I highly recommend that you pick it up and read it. But I just wanted to share this part from the book with you because I feel like it's really relevant to our topic and really relevant about embracing you. Your presence, he says, leaves others energized. It allows others to feel better about themselves. It allows others to feel unified and brought together. It instills a sense of purpose. It allows others to trust in authentic personal connections. And it inspires others to greatness. Now, knowing all of this, why would you not want to embrace who you are? Your quirks and who you are is what your team and peers are going to appreciate the most about you. It's also going to be the energy and the presence that you bring into that particular environment. Your team and your peers, they will get to know you. They'll be able to relate in areas that you have in common. And being authentically you gives you the opportunity to learn from those around you and for them to learn from you because they're going to know who you are and you're going to get to know them. When you are being you, you get to know who you truly are and define your unique leadership vision and lead with confidence. You tap into your gifts and strengths and you build upon them, creating what people will look for in you as a leader. It gives you direction and focus on what you need to study and learn. For me, being clear and confident in my identity and my potential has allowed me to identify that as a strength of mine. Over the years, I have been able to hone this skill, and it's something that others come to me for guidance and coaching on. They know that I can see potential in them that they cannot see in themselves, and I can help them in leaning into their unique gifts and build the confidence to be themselves in all situations. It's also why I've focused on building the skill of coaching and developing others. While all leaders do need these skills, they are very important to being a leader of people. I've chosen to take them to the next level and become a master on them. And a big part of being able to lean into that and being confident in my identity and my potential has been because I've just embraced who I am and I just show up as authentically me. You get what you get in our interactions, and I just bring my whole self to all of that. I know that when I have shown up as myself with my team and my peers, those relationships, they're a lot stronger. I get a lot more out of my team, and in turn, my team gets a lot more out of me. And we see each other as people and individuals versus boss and employee. And it completely changes that entire relationship dynamic. We have a lot more fun together because we all get to be ourselves and we're not worried about, is the other person going to embrace who I am, because we already know who they are and we appreciate them for showing up as themselves. I challenge you to embrace who you are, to show up with all of your quirks and allow others to get to know you. I want you to go back to the question that I started this episode with, and that's, are you driving your leadership based on your own authenticity or based on antagonism against another person trying to prove them wrong? I really want you to contemplate that question and really think about how you're showing up in the different interactions that you're having with the people at work or even the people at home, because you do lead your family and your friends. I want you to lean into who you are, and when you do so, you'll be able to design your unique leadership journey, lead with confidence, and love the team that you lead. I hope that today's episode has inspired you to embrace you and all of your quirks. Until next time, lead with confidence and show up every day as the leader you are striving to be. Thanks for listening to A Leader's Journey podcast. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. If you're excited to learn more, be sure to subscribe to the podcast and tune in next week for another exciting leadership lesson. I'd love to help you level up your leadership, achieve the goals you desire, and design your unique leadership journey. So click the link in the show notes to schedule a free Level Up Your Leadership session. During this time, we will define where you are in several key areas of leadership, where you desire to be, and how you can level up your leadership. You don't need to do this alone, so let's chat today and get your journey started. Don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn or in the A Leader's Journey community on Facebook, and share this episode with another leader so we can all learn and grow together. That's all for this episode, and I'll see you next week. Until then, lead with confidence, show up every day as the leader you are striving to be, and make the decision today to level up your leadership this year.